Hey y'all, welcome back to another video. Today we're playing in glitter, which is probably a bad idea, but we are making some homemade DIY Christmas decor. The first thing we're going to do, I'm going to do each of these one by one, and then at the end show you the end results of them all. This is going to be wrapped candy. So when I started doing this, I thought maybe sweet tarts. Once we got to really making these, my kiddos were like, no mama, that ain't a sweet tart, that looks more like a ring pop. I just took some bowls that I found at the Dollar Tree, and then I took some spray paint. I did different colors, and if I could go back, the one thing about these that I would change was I went straight up baby shower colors for Christmas. I had it in my mind, but it just was not coming. Like, the vision wasn't there. Like, I'm blind in my left eye anyway, so I must have my right eye closed on this one, because I don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking Candyland, muted, gingerbread kind of thing, and it turned out to 34 weeks, it's a boy look. It's a baby shower vibe. But I made it work, and I may or may not go back and change the color scheme of this candy stack that I'm making. But if I don't, it'll look fine. You can do these a ton of different ways. So I wanted to go with the candy. I wanted a wrapped candy look because I'm teetering between the gingerbread look and the Candyland look. How is it this is only the first project and I've already made a mess? I feel like a toddler at craft time. Like, who in their right mind would give a toddler at craft time spray paint? But I mean, do you see these buttes? It's me sound like Steve Irwin, but do you see these buttes? Like, okay, crafty Merina's being unlocked right before y'all's eyes. I mean, it could look better, but it could look worse. I think it's hilarious how y'all say I have talent to decorate. I would argue with that. I do argue with that quite a bit, because honestly, I just throw stuff together and hope that it works out. That's decorating to me. I just think it's funny that sometimes I can decorate and it turns out all right, but I don't have a crafty bone in my body. There's not a follicle on my head that is crafty. So these are really going to be unique. Hopefully they're the pretty kind of unique, but if not, we're still going to work with it. I really loved this prickly pear color. This and the very light pink that I use, it's actually a chalk paint, I think. I went with different colors and different textures. Like, I went with satin and chalk and matte, all the sorts of different colors and on the color wheel. I really was going for those pinks because I like the way that the pinks and reds look together. This is going to be the candy stack I was telling y'all about, but if you aren't doing the Candyland or the gingerbread theme, I was trying to think of ways that you guys could do this cheap DIY depending on what your theme is for Christmas. And honestly, you could do a lot with this. You could turn this into a snowman. So I'm doing a 3-tiered candy stack, but you could definitely make this a 3-tiered snowman. This keeps trying to stick to them. I've had to like pry it off. I'm going to do the second coat now, because that has kind of, where that stuck to it, it's kind of messed up my paint job. Darn you! No, stop. Quit it. My neighbor's gonna walk by and be like, well, Marina's being extra weird today. This was definitely a self-reflecting therapeutic moment for me. This one needs a third coat. It's just the same blue that I was using before. It just needs a third coat because for some reason, I think it was my technique. Your technique always sucks when you first start a craft, but you get better at it as you go. Picasso. Don't even think about it. Dollar Tree had an array of shapes when it comes to bowls and Tupperware, and y'all will see I use a lot of different shapes in today's video, but this one is the one I really wanted for the candy, and it had a print on it. And even though I painted it, and it was with the satin, with the high gloss, with the matte, with the chalk, even though I painted it and covered it 3 times with whatever kind of paint I was using, it still kind of showed the print a little bit through. So just keep that in mind. If you could find a plain one, it would probably work a lot better, but this did the job. I mean, you can't really tell. Once I wrapped it, you can't even tell that the print showed through at all. If you're doing what I'm doing, then you would get 2 of whatever you need, and so you would would get 2 Tupperwares to glue together, 2 bowls to glue together. Just make sure you have 2 of each. I went in with E6000. It takes a while for it to dry, but it works a lot better than hot glue in my opinion. And I just literally went around the edges and then sat it on top and did not touch it until it dried. And it kind of forms this hard, it's seriously like, think hot glue but magnified by like 25,000. That's how sturdy this stuff is. It's industrial. Like, I got it on my hand and I started freaking out. I was like, oh no, my fingers are going to be stuck together forever. I'm forever going to be doing the okay sign. You have zero room to play with this stuff, and my personality is horseplay. Like, so I was struggling. I was like, I can't mess this up. Merina, don't mess this up. I did the same thing with the bowls. The bowls was a little bit harder because the rim was thinner, so I just tried to go as much on the rim and on the inside of the bowl as I could so that I wouldn't have a big glob of glue around the outer edge and it wouldn't look good. Obviously, there's going to be a seam there, but I didn't want globs of glue just coming through the sides or anything like that. So I tried to focus on the main rim and then a little bit on the inside just to secure it. This stuff secures it, and it does dry fast, but it does take a long time to completely dry. So you have a little bit of room to work, and you don't have to work as fast as you do with other sorts of glue, but you still have to work kind of fast. Just know that, like, if you get this on you, you need to stop what you're doing because it's about to ruin your skin if you don't get it off. This is what mine was like when they were completely dry. The glue does say that it takes 24 hours to dry, but I can vouch it doesn't take that long. It might take that long to harden, but it doesn't take that long. Mine were dried just within a couple of hours. I used E6000 glue, and then I also went in with some hot glue to stack these because in case the E6000 took a little bit longer to dry, I wanted to go ahead and get this wrapped. The hot glue dries faster, and then the E6000 would just come in and kind of solidify that hold. You know what I'm talking about? So I'm using this stuff that I found at Hobby Lobby. It's gift wrap and stuff, and I had never heard of this before in my life. I was actually just going to like saran wrap my candy until I heard about this stuff, and I was like, oh snap, I'm gonna go find that. So I'm just hot gluing it down because I don't want to tape it and have that tape look. So I was hot glued the seams down, and then I bunched up the edges, used some zip ties. I would have preferred to have white zip ties, but I didn't. I just kind of used what I had. I didn't want to go out and buy white zip ties. It would have looked a lot cleaner and better, but the black ones were fine. These are the giant suckers. Now, this is probably my most favorite DIY that I did. I'm taking these large bowls, and I went for ones that sort of looked like a blow pop, kind of, you know, like you want that blow pop, that Tootsie Pop kind of look. I went for the ones that I thought would look more like that versus the little candy ones that you saw just a few minutes ago. These are a little bit bigger, and that's what I was going for. I wanted the jumbo lollipops. I wanted this to be a staple piece in my decor because I was focusing on so heavily on candy. So I just spray painted these. I do wish I had spray painted both with this red gloss paint. Honestly, I wish I would have spray painted a lot more with this red gloss paint. I would have avoided the baby shower feel and I would have also, I feel like it would have covered on those candies with the image shining through. I feel like it would have covered those a little bit better than the paint I used on those. So I'm going to do the same thing with this that I did with the candy pieces. I take E6000, go around the edges. This one was a little bit easier because you can see the seams are a little bit wider. I had Shane, because I don't trust me. I don't trust me with no box cutter. I made him make an X on it, and then we painted some broomsticks, just cheap old broomsticks. You can get brooms at the Dollar Tree, unscrew the brushy part, and spray paint them. My spray paint job sucked on these, but it was spray painted regardless. We just pushed that sucker through, and you're gonna freak out at first because I did. I was like, oh no, we've ruined it all. At this point, I'm like, no, I'm almost in tears. But then I'm like, wait, okay, nobody's going to see the bottom, and then I can fix this. Most of the mistakes we make doing DIYs or crafts, we are just seriously over dramatic about. We can usually fix 99.9%. I mean, unless you set this thing on fire. So I just went in with some hot glue and covered up all the parts that were kind of open from it busting through. I used the same gift basket wrap, and then I just zip tied, just like you see a sucker, like a lollipop. This was also one of my favorites. It probably rivals the jumbo Lollipops. I'm taking these solo cups, the 9-ounce ones, not the really tall ones, but just the little 9-ounce ones, and I'm spray painting them all different colors. So I think I did like 7 red, 7 pink, 7 blue kind of thing. I might have done more red because I think I wanted more of a Christmas feel. I think by this point I was realizing like I was about to invite y'all to my baby shower. so I wanted to like throw in as much red as I could. I wish I had done this from the beginning, but oh well. I mean, what can you do? Who says Christmas can't be decorated like a baby shower? Who says that? Jesus was a baby. That was the first baby shower. I just got an idea for next year. Baby shower Christmas theme. I mean, you could do the whole like 3 kings, the wise kings, and frankincense and myrrh and all that stuff. That's a good idea. I need to put that in my mental memory. I'm going to forget it in the next 5 minutes. But that's a good idea. I'll think about doing that next year. So anyway, I just spray these back to this DIY because I can tell I'm about to go off the rails in this conversation. So back to the DIYs, I just spray these down. These are going to be our colorful gumdrops on our gingerbread iced door border. I didn't use glitter on these, but I'm kind of wishing I did. It would add that sugar look. Man, I wish I could see this sunset. It don't do it justice, but oh my gosh. Look how pretty. That's so pretty. God over here putting me to shame with his artwork, and I'm spray painting solo cups. He really said, let me show you how it's done. I was getting totally distracted by that artwork in the sky. I even had to stop and bring Shane out because I was like, that is so pretty. The camera doesn't do it justice. The colors were so vibrant. It's like God knew I was out here painting. Look how pretty.
Oh, snap.
Isn't that pretty?
That is gorgeous.
All of the spray painting was probably the part that took the longest on this string of DIYs. So once I got that done and let them dry, I started with the actual frame. So you could use wood. Wood would be really expensive though. So I just went with foam board and I just cut them all at the same size. And I knew it'd have to be taller than this little foam board, so I just planned on duct taping it together.
Oh, I guess we should be singing Christmas music. He bought her diamonds up there on Christmas Eve. So that'll be a fun game. Take a classic song and turn it into a Christmas song.
What you want, Santa, he's got it. What you need, you know he's got it. All I'm asking is for a big old Jeep, just a big old Jeep. Just a big old Jeep. Let me sing it down one more time. Do that one.
Rudolph, 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 Rudolph. With your lit nose on the wall.
On the wall. Oh, ski, ski.
Down the mountain.
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 Oh, ski, ski. Down the mountain. Oh, ski, ski.
Down the mountain.
Using this foam stuff for the faux icing. I anticipated this to be fun, and it was actually the opposite. It was a nightmare, really. This stuff cannot get on your skin, and I didn't know that. I was just like, oh, I'll just wipe it off. No, it don't come off. It dries, and it hardens, and it puts like a crystallized coat all over your hand. So I made a mess. You can imagine the mess I made. I'm just going down like with an icing technique as best as I can. What I did learn very quickly is less is more with this stuff because it expands as it dries. So you would think a little pitiful like swirl wouldn't look good, but no, that's exactly what you need. You need a little swirl because it'll expand. I spray painted it white to give it an icing look because it was kind of yellow. It looked like icing that had been sitting on the table for like 6 days. It screamed food poisoning. So I just sprayed it down white while it was still wet, and I also added these gumdrops while it was still wet. Don't let it dry before you put the gumdrops in. It'll be an even bigger mess. I hung these up with command strips because I obviously didn't want to put nails for temporary DIY decor. I don't even know how long this will last. I'm hoping it'll last all through the Christmas season, but who knows. These DIY light up peppermints were the coolest. I definitely could, let's be honest. I definitely could have done a lot better on these. I didn't really know what I was doing because I didn't have nothing to go by because I just thought of this off the top of my head. I'm just using these little containers I found at the Dollar Tree, some Mod Podge, some red acrylic paint, and some translucent glitter. And I just winged this. Winged this. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I just did the daggone thing without thinking much into it. I painted the outside. If I could go back, I'd definitely paint the inside with the red because it just make it look better. And then I'd also do a couple more coats with the red. On the inside though, I just done a really thick layer of Mod Podge just to give the surface a sticky surface so that I could go in with glitter. I'm using translucent glitter and put it all over the Mod Podge. And once the Mod Podge dries, it'll dry clear and all you'll be able to see is that glitter. I wanted it glittery because I had intentions on putting colored lights in these things, and I wanted just the glitter to kind of pop. Okay, so check this out. These suckers right here, I literally painted outside. If I could do it over, I'd probably paint the inside rather than the outside. I don't know why I didn't do that, but I Mod Podged it and then threw some glitter in there. They're going to be see-through whenever I glue them together. They're going to be see-through. So what we're going to do is we're going to put lights in it so they can light up. They literally, hold on. I've been singing a lot of Aaron Carter because he passed, and he was legitimately my entire childhood. So I have been like straight up mourning. Even Shane was like, I don't think you've ever taken a celebrity dying this hard before. I want candy. I want candy. I'm literally just going to plop them. Alright, let me go glue them. I'll be right back. I made sure to leave the battery thing out so I could turn it on and off. These are the DIY Lollipop tree picks. I got tree picks that I absolutely am obsessed with from Hobby Lobby, and I kind of want to mimic that. I got these miniature dowel rods, and I got some of the foam things that you put in like your pots for like fake plants and stuff. I got different shapes. I got a big thick one, a round one, smaller ones, and I just wanted to get a bunch of tree picks out of these. So I spray painted them different colors, baby shower colors and Christmas colors. When they dried, I went in with Mod Podge and glitter and got those suckers super, super glittery. I wasn't expecting to like the ball ones so much, but I really like how I use the blue and the pink with that. I was just trying to conserve and use what I had without wasting any, and I love that blue and pink glitter together. You kind of have to be a little bit heavy-handed on the Mod Podge with this stuff because it straight up absorbs it. Like, it just sucks it in. I'm using the matte Mod Podge. That's because that's all I could find. And then I tried to go with whatever color of glitter for whatever color of paint I used, except for on this one, and I just thought that the glitter acrylic paint was really cool. I mean, usually this stuff is like glue, but this is actually paint. I don't like how that one turned out when, you know, compared to the other ones, but it was still a really neat concept. That glitter paint is really cool. Oh my gosh, it's so cold out here. We're watching Home Alone, so I need to hurry up and get back in there. I'm going to spray these down with polyacrylic protective finish, the clear matte kind, because that's what I had. I already had this stuff. One of you guys told me, though, if you have a bunch of glittery objects and you don't want that glitter to come off on you and go everywhere, then to spray it down with hairspray. So if you don't have something like this and you want to do this, I would try the hairspray method. It's kind of the same thing, I guess. It might be sticky, but I mean, sticky beats glitter being everywhere. I'm covered in it right now, so take my advice. This is the exact stuff that I'm using. It's just the polyacrylic matte finish spray. I am convinced, 100% convinced, that the shiny, the glossy polyacrylic spray would have looked way better because this matte one did kind of dull down the glitter look, and I hate that, but I had tons of these cans. I had been hoarding these cans and hadn't found anything to use them on, so I just thought, well, now's the perfect time to use them, and I didn't really think they would dull them down as much as they did. It did make it easier for me to Cricut little swirlies on them to make some of them look like lollipops, so I will give it that. It being matte made it really easy for me to get the vinyl on these things, but I almost wish I hadn't have sprayed them down with anything and would have just left them as is until I could get some shiny glossy polyacrylic spray. But it is what it is, and it turned out okay. I'm just measuring how big I need my, what is it, decal or decal? It's decal, right? No, it's decal. I'm just measuring how big I need my decal to be and cutting the vinyl with my Cricut Joy. Vinyl is going to look super weird on this thing if you don't go back and Mod Podge over it or at least seal it again. So definitely recommend Mod Podging over that vinyl so it doesn't stand out against that glitter so much. Shane painted me my very own little gingerbread man. I was looking for something like this in the stores and couldn't find anything. And I was like, wait a minute, like, I'm married to an artist. Like, he could totally do this for me. So I asked him, and he thankfully found the time to do this for me. It didn't take him too long, but he did put a whole lot of effort into it, and I'm super grateful because it just kind of brings my gingerbread thing all together, and I love it. I forget what we named it, but I'm going to name it Cash now. I don't know why. I'm just feeling cash money. That's what we're going to name this gingerbread. This is how the gingerbread border came out, I guess you would call it. This is how the rest of it came out. Look at my little gingerbread painting back there. Lollipops are gorgeous. I am so obsessed with these giant lollipops. Probably came out the best out of anything other than Shane's artwork, of course. And then the lollipops, I really like those too. The plain ones and the ones with the little swirls on it. Only changes I would make would be to the little pinwheels, the light up pinwheels, and the color scheme. I would take more time on the light up pinwheels, and I would choose different colors for the wrapped candy pieces. I ain't the best crafter, and y'all's will probably look better than mine, but you can't deny those are some pretty cool pieces for this year. Some of them might even last until next year. Who knows? I'm digging those light up peppermints though, and the suckers are probably my favorite. The gingerbread Shane made me, the little lollipops, the colorful ones, I love those. I like the candies. I like all of them. I will say, if I was to go back and redo anything, it would be the colors. Not any blues, because this right here looks like a baby shower prop. It kind of is giving baby shower. So I would definitely change that. I can't wait to get it all up, get it all put together. I've got all my Christmas stuff out on the table. It's just waiting to be put up. I'm really excited about it. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. I hope I gave you guys some ideas. Like I said, y'all will pull this off way better than me. I am no crafter. It was kind of fun. It was also very frustrating, but it was kind of fun. If you guys decide to do any of these, make sure you let me know. Tell me if you change it, if you put your own twist to it, all that kind of stuff. Nonetheless, I hope it was entertaining. I hope y'all have a blessed morning, even not whatever it is, wherever you're at. Know that I love you, but Jesus loves you more. I'll see y'all later.